Who's the gold digger in your family? My dad owns a successful plumbing business and everyone knows he's worth millions. When I turned 25, he offered me a partnership deal, proved myself for 2 years, and earned 30% ownership. I was thrilled until my older brother Stewie found out. Stewie had been working in marketing for tech companies and acted like blue-collar work was beneath him. But suddenly, he started showing up at job sites in expensive suits, telling customers he was overseeing operations and handing out business cards with fake titles. Dad was confused when clients started asking about Stewie's executive role. I showed him the business card Stewie was printing. Vice President of Client Relations, with our company logo. Dad confronted Stewie, who claimed he was just trying to help with the family business. That weekend, Stewie brought his new girlfriend Meg to family dinner. She spent the entire time asking Dad about his retirement plans and whether he'd written a will. She even suggested Dad should consider selling the business while it was still profitable. I started noticing Stewie's social media posts about running the family empire and generational wealth building. He was posting photos of our work trucks and job sites like he owned everything. His comment section was full of people congratulating him on his successful business. Then Dad got a call from our bank. Someone had been asking about business loan applications using Dad's name and company information. The bank manager said a young man claiming to be Dad's son had requested copies of financial statements and asset evaluations. I followed Stewie to a fancy restaurant downtown where he was meeting with 3 men in suits. They were discussing acquisition opportunities, and Stewie was showing them printed photos of our equipment and property. He was trying to sell our business behind Dad's back. Dad hired a private investigator who discovered Stewie had been meeting with competitors for months. He'd been sharing client lists, pricing strategies, and trying to negotiate deals where he'd get finder's fees for steering business away from us. The investigator found Stewie's laptop messages where he called Dad old and naive, and me too stupid to realize what the business is really worth. He'd been planning to manipulate Dad into early retirement so he could take over without earning anything. Stewie had convinced Meg to help him by getting close to Dad's accountant at the country club. She'd been fishing for information about Dad's personal finances and retirement accounts. They were planning to suggest Dad was getting too old to handle business decisions. The breaking point came when Stewie showed up at our biggest client's office with a contract. He was trying to start his own competing company using our client relationships and claiming Dad had given him permission to expand the business independently. Dad called a family meeting and played recordings the investigator had made of Stewie's competitor meetings. Stewie's face went white when he heard his own voice saying Dad was too trusting and that I was just manual labor. Stewie started screaming that I'd manipulated Dad against him and that he deserved equal partnership because he was the older son. He claimed Dad owed him for years of family loyalty, even though he'd ignored the business until money was involved. Dad stood up, looked Stewie in the eye, and said, "You're fired from a job you never actually had." Then he handed Stewie a cease and desist letter from our lawyer, demanding he stop using our company name and client information. Stewie lost his tech job when his employer found out about his side schemes. Meg dumped him when she realized there was no family money coming her way. Last I heard, he's working at a call center and still posting on LinkedIn about entrepreneurial opportunities. The funniest part? Stewie had to move back in with our parents because he couldn't afford rent. Now he sees me running the business he thought he deserved every time I pick up Dad for lunch. Dad made me full partner that day. Sometimes the biggest gold digger is the family member who thinks they're entitled to wealth they never helped create.